Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, and welcome back to our Ramadan series, Miracles from the Qur'an. Today we're going to look at a really interesting story from Surah Al-Kahf. Surah Al-Kahf is chapter number 18 in the Qur'an, and the word Kahf actually means cave. So you guessed it, this story has something to do with a cave. Now this story takes place a long time ago, and Allah tells us about a group of young people who lived in a place where they believed in Allah, but the people around them did not. And this can feel really lonely sometimes. If you think about yourself, maybe you've felt this way too, where you're trying to do something or you believe in something and everybody around you is doing something different or thinking something different. So we can actually look at this story to find some inspiration for ourselves. So these young people are living in a place where they're surrounded by people who don't believe in Allah, and they're feeling the pressure from these people to also not believe in Allah. And they realize that maybe the best thing for them is to leave this place and go find a new home. And we actually talked about something similar in the story of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, that he realized after the people of Makkah were giving him and the Muslims a hard time, that maybe it was best to find a new home. So just like that, in this story, the young people decide they're going to leave. And they actually find a cave to seek refuge in. Now when they're there, they make a very special dua that we can also make. رَبَّنَا آتِنَا مِن لَدُنْكَ رَحْمَةً وَهَيِّئْ لَنَا مِنْ أَمْرِنَا رَشَدًا. Oh Allah, send us special mercy from yourself and show us the right way to deal with our situation. Guide us in the right direction. And what Allah does is, again, as we've been talking about, Allah sends a miracle and Allah rescues these young people. Allah actually puts them to sleep inside this cave. And He doesn't just put them to sleep for 1 night or 2 nights or 3 nights. He actually puts them to sleep for 309 years. That's right, 309 years. Now you might be thinking, how is that possible? Does anybody live to be 309 years old? Again, Allah can make things possible. He even placed a watchdog outside the cave to make sure that nobody came into the cave. So these young men are sleeping in the cave for 309 years. After 309 years, these young people wake up. They rub the sleep out of their eyes, they get up, and they realize that they need some supplies because they're kind of hungry. So they actually go into the marketplace and they start to look for things. And when they start to pay for these items, the people around them are looking at them in a really interesting way because they have very old coins. Because again, they went to sleep 309 years ago. And the people also notice that these individuals are dressed differently and they're really surprised. And what the young people of the cave realize is that while they were sleeping, a lot of things have changed. And now people around them are also believing in what they believe in. So this is one of the stories that we can take a lot of lessons from. First of all, there's a miracle here because nobody sleeps for 309 years like that. But Allah protected them through this sleep, the way that they were hoping He would when they made their dua. They turned to Allah, Allah sent a miracle to help them. The second thing we learn is that sometimes the people who we surround ourselves with can really influence us. And so it's really important to have good people around you and good friends. I know sometimes it's hard when we're trying to be cool, we're trying to be popular, and maybe the people around us are asking us or pressuring us to do things that we know we shouldn't do. But that's when we can look to this story and remember the importance of having good people around you who influence you and help you to do good things. So these are some of the lessons from this amazing story in Surah Al-Kahf. There's actually a number of stories in this chapter which the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ encouraged us to read and recite every Friday. So one of the things that we can actually do is we can recite this surah on Fridays. And if maybe it's a little bit too long right now, or maybe it's a little bit too hard, or maybe you're learning how to read Arabic, you can also listen to it, but you can definitely think about it. So on Fridays, this is definitely something to think about, and this is definitely a dua that we can also make. رَبَّنَا آتِنَا مِن لَدُنْكَ رَحْمَةً وَهَيِّئْ لَنَا مِنْ أَمْرِنَا رَشَدًا. With that, we'll call it a day, and I'll see y'all for our next session. Assalamu alaikum.